see you guys in the dark.
This happened when I was a bartender about 4 years ago, but I think about it often, and it has changed the way that I operate throughout life. I now refuse to go to any store alone after midnight. For the story's sake, I will tell you that I was 25, an attractive, slender blonde at the time. On a busy Friday night, I was bartending with the bar manager, and he had noticed that we were very low on some bar necessities after the dinner rush. So I was sent out to go to a 24-hour grocery store down the road to pick up the odds and ends that we would require to get us through the weekend. I picked up everything that was asked of me without trouble at the store, until I got to the liquor aisle. There were two country-looking guys that were probably around my age in the aisle, and they were staring at me and whispering to each other in a way that made me uncomfortable, as I assumed they were making comments about me. All pretty innocent so far. Before they would approach me, I grabbed what I needed very quickly and power walked to the self-checkout. I really booked it out of there because you're a bartender. It's kind of like you're on stage and are required to be charming and interact with people that you otherwise absolutely wouldn't be able to tolerate unless you're getting paid to. I get to the self-checkout, and hot on my tail are the two guys. I'm scanning my stuff, and they use the scanning station next to me. I get a better look at them now that they are right next to me. One is taller, muscular, and average-looking. The other is shorter and more plump. They both looked dirty, and their eyes were completely bloodshot. Not sure if they were high on something or had already been drinking for a little while. They continued to stare at me, and our eyes awkwardly met. So I did the pleasant, mid-westerny thing to do and flashed them a quick, half-assed, closed-lipped smile to be polite. The taller one starts trying to talk to me. "Hey, looks like you're ready to party, huh?" I replied with something like, "Yeah, something like that. It's not for me, though." They walk closer to me and ignore their responsibility to scan their items. "Oh, must be for your boyfriend, huh?" I flash the awkward, tight-lipped smile again and roll my eyes slightly. Like, this is your hint that I'm not interested, fellas. The taller one continues to try to talk to me. "You could come hang out with us tonight. We could show you a real good time if you know what I mean." I reply with, "No thank you. I'm good. I have plans already." Well, the tall one starts to get upset that his moves aren't working like he'd hoped, and starts using a more threatening tone and moves very close to me, like 2 inches away, but I ignore him, staying focused on the scanner. I don't think that he showered in a few days by the smell of him. He gets a little louder and says, "I see how it is. You probably only fuck doctors and rich men like that. You think you're too good for us. We can show you that you aren't. We can teach you a lesson." Now, I'm not sure in what context he meant, but it definitely wasn't good. Still not looking at him, I turn away so my body is blocking his view of my purse, which I set on the scanner, to grab my 4-inch pocket knife out and slide it up my jacket sleeve in case I need to protect myself, acting like I'm searching for my wallet. I do this, however, in view of the self-scan worker standing at her podium, and look at her with wide eyes trying to communicate that I do not feel safe and I might need some help. I turn back to the machine and slide my credit card to pay, while the creepy and hostile guys are practically standing on top of me. The machine malfunctions and starts beeping. The lady worker comes over immediately, and the guys standing next to me change their expressions from "I'm planning to torture you for a couple of days and toss your body in a creek" to just your friendly, good old country boys making polite conversation over here. They actually tried to act like I knew them, and we were friends, so the worker wouldn't be alerted to their ill intentions. They tried joking with the worker, saying that I was stealing something, and that's why the machine went off. The worker was definitely not buying it. She was a 6-foot-plus tall woman with some muscle on her, by the way. I wouldn't mess with her on my best day. She presses a few buttons on the screen, shooting the guys a very unimpressed look when they were trying to act charming, and cancels the order completely. She turns to me and says, "I'm sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am. This machine seems to not be working correctly. Why don't you gather your things, and I will ring you up at an actual register." She puts her hands on my back and gives me a wide-eyed look like I gave her a minute earlier, letting me know that she sees that I'm in danger. I pick up my things to follow her to a register that is near the security office. The guys linger around the self-scan, still glaring at me, and eventually complete their purchase, but stand at the exit, assuming they are waiting for me. I felt like I would be walking my way to my death if I made my exit in that moment. The worker keeps a close eye on the guys and scans my items. As she's scanning, she tells me there really isn't anything wrong with the machine I was using. It just misread my credit card. She said that I had a bad feeling about those guys from the moment that they walked in, and then I saw them getting aggressive towards you. I already rang security to be ready to walk out to the parking lot and make sure that you left safely when you were ready to leave. Then I saw you take that knife out and put it up your sleeve, getting ready to protect yourself. Good girl. As much as I'd like to see you show them that they picked the wrong chick to mess with, I'm glad that I was able to pull you aside and make sure that you are safe. I see them waiting by the door for you. I'll just keep pressing buttons on the screen and act like I'm having trouble with your order until they give up and just go outside. Our security officer and I are both still going to escort you to your vehicle when you leave. I thought to myself, this woman seriously deserves a raise. I thanked her over and over again and told her what they said to me, and I was getting afraid because I don't know what these guys are capable of. As I'm talking to her, my bar manager calls me to see what's taking so long. I explain what was happening, and he was obviously very concerned and ready to come up there himself and kick some ass. By the time I hang up, the guys had given up and walked out to the parking lot. The worker said to give it another few minutes because she had a bad feeling that they may still be in the parking lot, waiting for me to walk out and see which vehicle was mine so that they could follow me. My instant thought was, no way, they have to be gone by now. I was wrong. The worker and security guard escort me out, and as it was after midnight, you can imagine how empty the parking lot was. Towards the back of the lot, there sat an old, big pickup truck running with the lights on, pointed towards the store. It was a huge parking lot, and it didn't make any sense for them to initially park like that. So I'm assuming that they moved the truck to sit that way so that they had a full view of when I exited the store to go to my vehicle. It was like being stalked by very hungry lions. When I unlocked my car and they saw that me, the worker, and the guard were looking directly at them, and that I wasn't getting in my car until we watched them leave, they then peeled out of the parking lot. I mean, they seriously did a burnout to establish that they were pissed off and trying to intimidate us or something. Aw, poor creeps didn't get their way. Boo-hoo. I thanked the worker and the guard over and over again, as I am certain they had just saved my life, or at least saved me from having to live with whatever those guys were planning on doing to me. I did write a long letter to the store manager and to their corporate location describing how their employees protected me, and how grateful I was about it. I really hope that earned her a promotion, a bonus, or a raise of some kind. She didn't know me at all and was ready to protect me, which really isn't her job, but she did it anyways. Needless to say, I do not go late night shopping by myself anymore. I never will again. I am currently 15, but I was 13 at the time. I looked older than I am, so people confuse my age a lot. This happened almost 2 years ago while I was walking to the store. I lived 10 minutes from the Dollar General and went to get some food because I was hungry at around 5. The sun was starting to kinda set, but I went alone anyways. Like an idiot, I know. I get about halfway there when a blue car, I think it was a Ford, slows on the highway and calls to me to come closer. Like an idiot, I walk back a bit, but not much. I don't remember what he said, but it was something along the lines of, "Get in the car." I freaked out. I just started walking again, and he pulls into a church parking lot that I was walking by. He just parks there, yelling at me to come here without getting out. I was wearing wedged sandals, so I stopped to take them off, and then bolted. I ran beside the church and walked a little bit towards the front where the car was still parked. He never got out, so I didn't really see his face. But after about 5 or 10 minutes, he finally left. I don't know why, but I decided to still go to that store. I was still jumpy, so I bought my stuff and left. On my way back, I didn't see the car again, thankfully. When I got home, I told my family, but they all just brushed it off, saying I was probably just overreacting. I didn't walk to the store again for 4 months, and I still get pretty paranoid if I see a person walking the same direction as me for a while. Yeah, creepy guy in a blue car. I really don't want to see you again. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell for notifications on future videos and become a stalker of the night. And I'll see you next time.